Good morning, everyone. I don't think anybody's in here yet. It's time for church. Hear ye, hear ye. It's time. Pass it on. I'm going to let people assemble for just a second before we do all our good morning things. So you can still play them in. They're like, they started on time. We don't know how to do that. Good morning, everyone. It looks like we're kind of in here now. Welcome to the Unitarian. Good morning. Good morning. You know what my granny used to say when she wanted everyone to come in for dinner? She would stand on our back porch and she would do this call. I do not know what this means. Please do not judge me. And she would say, "Ya-ha-ha, ya-ha-ha, ya-ha, ya-ha." And we would all come running for dinner. So I think I need some kind of thing like that. I promise not to do ya-ha-ha every morning. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Chattanooga. I am its proud minister. My name is the Reverend Mandy Goheen, and my pronouns are she, her, and it's such an honor to welcome you here today on this edge of the year when we're thinking about what's next, what we want to keep, what we leave behind. I would like the next slide, and the clicker eventually, David, if you want to run it up to me. I'm going to talk today about one of my biggest heroes in the civil rights movement, one of my biggest heroes in literature, the person I go to over and over again when I'm trying to figure out the words I need and the ways I need to center around being the identity that I proudly hold, which is an anti-racist. James Baldwin says, "Love takes off the mask that we fear we cannot live without, and no, we cannot live within." Let that hang for a second. And as that hangs, I'd like to invite Karen up to help us light our chalice. Oops, there we go. In Unitarian Universalist congregations, meeting houses, gatherings all over the place, we begin to set our sacred time by lighting a chalice. A chalice is the light inside the cup that holds us, reminds us that we are sacred and that we are allowed to define what sacred is. Did we say it? In the light of truth? Let's say it. In the light of truth, in the warmth of love, we gather to seek, to sustain, and to share. I'm not awake. I've been relaxing all week, like taking it easy. What about y'all? Have you been relaxing, taking it easy, maybe working? Well, this is a time we're all gathered today. If you are an extrovert and like greeting people, I affirm you stand up and say hi to your neighbor. If you don't like that kind of stuff, just sit there and smile and wave. We're going to have our opening song next, "Oh, What a Piece of Work We Are," which I just think the title's enough for me. So I just really want to say thank you. I've never heard this song. I'm excited. So Please rise and greet your neighbor if that is your thing. Looks like that's perfect. It's not. It's a really cool humanist song. I think it actually makes sense. You're not even going to, you're going to be like, oh, take the mask off that you cannot wear. Hi. How are you? It's pretty silly here today. We're staying for all of church. It's a multi-generational, but we'll do some fun stuff so you won't be totally bored. And if you need to sit on the floor and fuss and play, I'm cool with that. I just need you to know that since you're up front. So you're welcome. Good morning. Happy New Year. What a piece of work you are. Hey, I didn't say hi yet. Good morning. Nice to see you. Glad you're here. Happy New Year.
Of work are we? How we roam the quick contrivance of the hand, the wonder of our thought, the wonder of our thought. Come on, everybody can do this. Why need to look for miracles outside of nature's law? Humanity we wonder at with every breath we draw, with every breath we draw. But give us room to move and grow, but give us spirit play, and we can make a world of light out of the commonplace, out of the commonplace.
Please be seated and thank you for trying something new. Oh, the next song is better than a song. So, last week, as I said, it's important on Christmas road trips to not necessarily remember everything you're going to bring. So I remembered the Mad Libs book this week. And I'm going to not apologize. So if you have a Mad Libs card, and you have written a word on it, I hope we're going to take a minute and think about Mad Libs as a way to fill in a story. We're going to do some very important advice for our young people today. We're going to talk about New Year's resolutions for children. And children, we know we love to hear grown-ups' bad advice, so this is going to be really perfect. So I need folks who have a card to line up in numerical order over here, because you're going to say your word. And if you need help saying your word, Camille, can you help us with people who might need help saying their word? Okay, so let's line up. What number? It's chaos, as always. Here, we'll put the microphone right here for number 1. Whatever direction. Herd cats. 1. Organize yourselves.
7.
Okay. Are you 1? Hey. Welcome to church. Okay, all right. I'm so glad we have so many people to listen to this story. All right, chaos controlled. Are we ready? New Year's resolutions. According to an
Sunny.
survey, here are the top New Year's resolutions for kids. I will practice
Beautiful.
hygiene. This includes brushing my
Ears?
ears after meals and covering my
Christmas tree.
Christmas tree when I sneeze and washing my
Eyes.
eyes after I use the
Popcorn.
popcorn. I will eat healthier.
Elephants.
Elephants. I will replace fast dolphins with green
Animals.
animals and
Fuzzy.
fuzzy fruit. I will pick up after myself and I will make my
Spaghetti.
spaghetti, put my
Slimy.
clothes in the laundry,
Puppy.
and remember to hang my wet popcorn again in the bathroom. I will work on being polite to family and
Rainbows.
rainbows. Okay. All right. Oh, here we have a good one. Renaissance Park. Okay, wait. We'll see, where was I? Hang my rainbows. I will work on being plural noun. I will work on being polite to family and to Renaissance parks. I will not respond to any
Glorious.
glorious advice my parents give me. And that concludes our Mad Libs New Year's resolutions for everyone, which seems a little silly, but that's okay. Popcorn, right? Let's talk about. Lots of people had wet popcorn today. I just don't understand. Okay. Well, thank you for entertaining me and being part of that. So, in our congregation, in our gathering, which is all of you, whoever is present, we have an opportunity to bring forward any joys or concerns, celebrations or anguish that we feel like it would be helpful to light a candle for, to put it forth and to share it with this community so you can be loved and whatever you're going through can be celebrated, comforted, acknowledged. And Karen, will you please come up again? And I invite all of you who would like to come forward to come and light a candle for your joys or concerns. Spirit of love, spirit of life, spirit of rainbows and popcorn, spirit of all the things around us, spirit of cat whiskers and puppy kisses, spirit of open presents that we receive with appreciation, spirit of not having enough, spirit of sadness, spirit of grief, spirit of all the things you are, spirit of blood, spirit of air, spirit of water, surround us on this journey. Hold us in the knowledge that the spirit of relationships and the spirit of each other in this space is our critical connection to something holy that we cannot understand. Invite in relationships. Bring in wonder, even in grief. Hold open questions, even if they feel ridiculous. And commit to the importance and authenticity that each of you hold in the spark that is divine in you, however you define that. Hold us close. Give us laughter and love when we need it most. Help us find the humor when things are hard. But most of all, give us the courage to continue on the journey. May it be so, and blessed be. I'm always losing the clicker. That's my favorite thing. Can I have the next slide as I look around for it?
In front of the candles.
On the front of the candles. Oh, see, I needed you. Okay, let's see here. What do we got? Oh, the fire next time. Oh, just the sermon. It'll be fun. So, I said it before, and I will say it again. James Baldwin changed who I am and how I think. And so I think the reason why that's so important to this gathered space is you probably hear some of this from me. It's probably in the way I think. I had been looking for someone, something, some prophetic voice that would explain to me a question that I hold that is maybe not completely appropriate, but as an anti-racist, I still ask myself over and over again. What is it about why are black people Christian? I know that sounds really basic. We know in our heads it's because they took the religion of the oppressor and reframed it and remade it, but it is still hard for me to understand sometimes. And the thing that I love about Baldwin is he's not afraid to ask that question either. It's not that there might be an answer to that question. It's just a question of curiosity. And when I was little, I was very curious, being born in southern Ohio where there was the one-half mixed kid in our school, one. I was very curious about the culture that wasn't my own and how to respect it. And I remember getting in really big trouble one Sunday morning, really big trouble, riding in the car. And all the folks are letting out of Black church, and they're all wearing white. And my earnest little girl curiosity asked my mother, bless her, why are they all wearing white? And the response to that question was not okay. We've talked about it since. The response is, you shouldn't say that. Don't say that about black people. That wasn't the question. The question was why? The question was from curiosity. The question was from this romantic picture that I was seeing as a child of all these people dressed the same. We didn't do that in Catholic church. The only one that got to wear a dress was the priest. So I had curiosity around that. And I kept seeking that answer. When I went to seminary, the first class I took that changed me was called, this is hard to say, Womanist Theoethics. And if that you think is a brainful, it was a mouthful and a brainful. And in the Womanist Theoethics class, I learned that black women had attached to different characters in the Bible than I ever had considered. I learned that Hagar, who was cast into the desert, while Sarah stayed behind in lavish luxury, was the true prophet, the one who had seen God and not been smited as they do in that Bible. I just have so many questions. I continue to have so many questions. And somehow, in my romantic mind about how much I love James Baldwin, I kind of thought maybe I heard about him in high school. Like, I really tried to talk myself into this week. I was really trying to talk to myself, where did this guy come from? Why is he so appealing to me? Where did I latch on to him? What happened? I doubt it was high school American literature class in Minford, Ohio. I think that's pretty optimistic to think that that might have happened, considering when I graduated, I didn't even know who Malcolm X was. Oh, I doubt I read Baldwin. I doubt I knew that James Baldwin and the man next to him clapping is Bayard Rustin. I doubt I knew that there were openly gay men in the civil rights movement, not openly like, hey, I'm gay, just because they were who they were in the civil rights movement that were rejected by the rest of the folks because of pressure from outside society. I love this picture. This is the march from Selma to Montgomery. It shows that Baldwin is there all along in the background, but he is serving this different purpose and justice that we forget to talk about. We talk about the foot soldiers. We talk about the advocates. We talk about the people on the front lines doing the things, but we forget about the witnesses sometimes. And he was the witness of the civil rights movement. The most dangerous creation of any society is the man who has nothing to lose. He knew where he was. He knew how he fit in the pecking order. In fact, he knew it so deeply that he didn't even stay in the United States to write. He was not quite an expatriate, but he was close. He would go to France and all over the place, quite frankly, to write and do his work where he didn't feel afraid. And he had good reason to be afraid. J. Edgar Hoover, our friend from the FBI, had the biggest file on him as a writer of any other writer. He was more dangerous because of his words than anyone else who was a writer in the United States at that time. Think about some other people who are writing in that period in the 60s. That's a pretty big compliment from J. Edgar Hoover, if you ask me. Those who say it can't be done are usually interrupted by those others doing it. That's my favorite. That's my favorite. I feel like that's what this church does. We are a group of interrupters. We like to interrupt the status quo. I see some nodding. We like to exercise the democratic process. We like to figure out what's right and do it and be there for it, be present for it. But there's always a side to that where we might misstep. I love this picture. I think I liked him because of his smile, quite frankly. I think that smile is so infectious. If one really wishes to know how justice is administered in a country One does not question the policemen, the lawyers, the judges, or the protected members of the middle class. One goes to the unprotected, those precisely who need the law's protection most, and listen to their testimony. He was bringing voices forward that were not heard. He grew up in Harlem. He grew up in a very religious family. His stepfather was a minister. He had a huge conversion experience at age 14 and became a preacher. By 20, he'd grown out of that. He'd moved on. He understood that his writing, his words were fundamentally important. Here is where I get hung up on Baldwin. This is my favoriteest. First of all, it's my favorite that he's so comfortable with children, and his focus is on saving children, specifically in Birmingham, specifically standing up for kids and talking for them. That was his main focus. And this is the final line in his book, The Fire Next Time. If we do not now dare everything, the fulfillment of that prophecy created from the Bible in a song by slaves is upon us. God gave Noah the rainbow sign. No more water. The fire next time. I think about that a lot. When I get stuck, I use that and I mull over it. This is going to sound really basic. In church work, we have a lot of policies and bylaws and things that help us figure out how to do things without thinking about them too much. What happens in church work is if those policies are written in response to something bad happening, they are horrible policies. They restrict our freedom and our creativity. They change the way we think. Because we're reacting to the flood, not the fire. The fire is now. Baldwin was very, very worried about civil war and the apocalypse and all the race stuff coming together. There are countless conversations with him and people like Nikki Giovanni about police brutality that if you listen to today, you would think it was happening right now. His words are evergreen. And this, no more water, the fire next time, is something that I say to myself a lot. When I think of a problem that I am facing, when I am thinking of being my authentic self, I think about not reacting to whatever has just happened or been bad. How will I move forward? And we might be able to think that we can predict that there's going to be a fire, but I'll tell you what, if you think you know what's going to happen next, you're wrong. And this is not a religion that tells you what happens next. This is a place where you are provoked to think. And so if you're provoked to think about the world as it is today being kind of a flood, let's be honest, outside, especially if you turn that news thing on, we have a choice of how we react. We can be reactive to that, or we can be proactive. And the best way to proactivity is building community and listening. Who knows how many times I've said that word. Listening and building relationships, creating a structure for something new and unexpected. Fire is important. I was thinking about this. I do a lot of backroads driving. I like national forests, and I like to go through and I think about the controlled burns in national forests. And one time I was driving through the national forest around Bandelier in New Mexico, and they had burnt out the whole woods. Now maybe, or there's a forest fire or whatever. But what happened because of that fire that cleared out all the BS and all the weeds and all the privet and all the things that were holding you up from growing, There was a field of red flowers below the charred pine trees. There were pine cones, probably germinating, that couldn't have germinated without there being a fire. Sometimes a little holy fire is what we need to germinate and to think. We're going to germinate and think for a minute. You have some paper. We're going to do something with this paper that we don't often do in our tradition, which is one of these papers is to burn outside after church. We're not going to catch on fire, I promise. One of these papers is to burn. What do you need forgiven for? What do you need atonement for? What do you need to let go of? That's one option for this paper. Maybe there's something you just need to let go of. That's one option for this paper. Maybe you're mad at something and you need to burn it up. That's another option. One paper is for burning. This other paper is very important. This is your compliment paper. And this is not for you, friends. This is for building community. At the end of this service, we are going to do a New Year's countdown and throw confetti in the air. The confetti is going to be this piece of paper that you're going to write something nice on for who knows who's going to open it, and then wad it up. Because we'll do, but don't lose it. The way we're going to keep it straight is our paper we're sharing is wadded up, and this one's flat, so we don't lose them. We're also going to do something a little different, and I know that quiet is not real. It is a perceived thing. We're going to take 5 whole minutes to work on these papers. Now, I know it won't be silent, but I ask you to start reflecting on what you want to give away, what love you want to give away, and what you need to get rid of. And so our silence begins now. Please reflect and write. I'll get some pencils. More paper. Thank you. We had little pencils somewhere. Oh, there's the pen. We doing good? About done? I'm going to give you 5 minutes, but not set a timer, because that's my normal MO. 1 more minute. Love takes off the mask that we fear we cannot live without and know we cannot live within. I'm going to say it again. Love takes off the mask we fear we cannot live without and know we cannot live within. Baldwin knew that it was critical to be our authentic selves, and to be our authentic selves, we had to make forgiveness in our heart. We had to lead with love, but not a wimpy kind of romantic or romanticized Disney kind of love, a love that is strong and brave. He knew that sometimes we had to take a break from our current context to be our authentic selves. He knew that something was always going to be happening, and that we would always need to strengthen ourselves with community. I want to say thank you for taking this time to write part of the sermon yourself in your reflections. And I want to move us into the next part of the service, which is a little different. Has a little bit less to do with introspection and a little bit more to do with giving, which is our offertory time. Who has had a good holiday around here? This place has been so fun, right? How fun has it been?
Real fun.
Real fun. Real fun. We've had labyrinths, and we have sang, and we have eaten sweets and listened to poetry and done the things that we needed to fill ourselves up and get ready for what's next, which is what I see as the purpose of this church. It's a place to build our muscles, to go out and love the world fiercely, a place to find a friend, a place to speak freely when there is no place else to speak, a place to ask weird questions, like, why are people going to church? It's a church where people can ask, why are you going to church? Isn't that lovely, that we have that space? I was talking to somebody the other day, and I was like, yeah, you don't have to come, but we'll worry about you. We won't judge you for not being there. We'll wonder where you are because we love to see you. It's a place that I have begun thinking of in the context of a home, which I'm not sure where I'm going to go with that. It's just part of sparkling in my brain. It's just that when we come here, we get to come home for a little bit, home with people who we know are going to embrace us and challenge us, people who might make us uncomfortable, not because they're weird, just because we're challenging ourselves together. A place to laugh and cry, a place to have weddings and memorial services, and potlucks and celebrations. But here's the thing, it takes electric to do all of that, and it takes money. But when we think of the money in the context of being citizens of this church, we give what we have to give. We don't give extra unless we have extra. If you have something extra to give to this place today, I invite you to give generously to the offering. I promise, giving to this place, you will receive in return. And with that, the offering will be gratefully received. join me in our offertory response. We give these gifts freely, committed to our mission to care, create beloved community, awaken hearts and minds, resist injustice and act with compassion, embrace life and care for the earth. To this work, we dedicate our offerings. That is the most Catholic part of this. It always gives me that little responsorial. I don't know, just I kind of love it, and then we get in this little groove, like, oh, that's what I remember. Kneel down. No kneeling, no kneeling. But I will invite you up to help us with our closing hymn if you're going to do that, and invite everyone to rise in body or spirit. Please don't kneel. It'll be fine. I don't want you to have to get me up. Please rise in body and or spirit for our closing hymn, Life is the Greatest Gift. So what? Thank you. So what? I like saying that. So what? So I'm going to invite you to get your paper out. I'm going to invite you to rise again. I know you just sat down. No kneeling, except for Christian. Please, everyone. And we're going to do, and would you help? Everybody's going to help us. We're going to do a 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, Happy New Year's countdown. And when we get to Happy New Year, we're going to throw our wadded up compliment. Remember, wad your compliment up. Keep your fire one. We're going to go outside and burn that in a minute. So wad up your compliment. Are you ready? We're going to do Happy New Year's. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Happy New Year! Yay! Please be seated. Don't forget to get one. One of those is for you. Not the same one you had. There's a bunch up here. That was, yay! Happy New Year. All right. We got a little lost in the weeds. All right, Karen, come on up. We're going to do our chalice extinguishing. Oh, there's one on the flip. We'll wait till the paper's done flying. Did you just trade? Oh. You had to redistribute? All right. Let's extinguish the chalice, this rowdy bunch. We extinguish this flame, but keep the light of truth, the warmth of community, and the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts and share with all the world. Does someone have a social justice moment? I do, if no one else. Okay, I'll go ahead and go for it. This social justice movement keeps scooting around the service, and you're probably wondering why. I was thinking and having a discussion yesterday with our president, Dylan Koosman, and our incoming president, Judy Gallagher, and we were talking about we say this thing in the chalice extinguishing about taking the fire of commitment out with us. So we want to make sure we're going to kind of tie this fire of commitment and taking it with us to the social justice moment. It seems like we finally found a place that might make sense. Anyway, I want to point out in this picture that Joan Baez is barefoot because I think that's awesome, that she walked. And a lot of the people that walked from from Selma to Montgomery were in their Sunday clothes. They weren't prepared to be walking 53 miles. A lot of people wound up barefoot along the way. They were in camps. They sang, they camped, they occupied, and they took care of each other, and they changed the world. Sounds easy, doesn't it? But the critical thing were the relationships and the friendships. The things that we build that keep us going in the new year. Live it. Love. Feed people. Listen. Be out there in the world. And know that you have a space to come back to charge your batteries up, to get your mind focused, to be with others who have the same goal as you do. And I'm going to quote someone, but it's not James Baldwin. It seems very sketchy, but he learned from James Baldwin, and that is Dr. Cornell West. Said both this. Justice is what love looks like in public. That's a good one, right? And the other thing he said that is another one of those things that rattles in my brain and I never can let go of. I may not be an optimist, but I'm a prisoner of hope. And I think this place gives us that juice to be prisoners of hope. And that's the end of our social justice moment. Oh, are we singing?
Yeah, there was a request to sing that song for the social justice.
I remember that, but nobody, okay. We're singing a song. Surprise! So sorry. Excellent. I'm even better glad I put that slide up there. I'm going to sit down and listen. So are we all singing this together like a congregation? Oh, we have another closing hymn. It is our social justice moment. Excellent. Who knows the tune? The song, heard of John Lennon? Pretty cool guy. Amen. And not but amen, no religion said. Lovely. Thank you. That was beautiful. And now, without further ado, Does anybody have an announcement to share? We have a microphone right here. Come on up. We'll move it to the front.
Good morning. I'm Judy Gallagher. I'm a member of the board, and I want to invite you all to come to our quarterly council on January 13th from 10 to 12, I believe. It's this next 2 weeks from now, from Saturday. And it's especially important for those of you who are chairs of committees, whether it's the auction or nominating or arts on the wall or looking out and see where a green sanctuary, whoever else I can see, or just a member of our congregation or, of course, the board of directors to come. Mandy's going to do something special with us, so I encourage you all to come and find out more about that on the Tuesday newsletter that she's going to put out. But put that on your calendar, and please do join us. Thank you.
Oh, I won't let, that's a big cliffhanger. I'm doing something special. They're like scared. They're not going to come. I'm teasing. Yes, we're going to do a curriculum called Starting Point. It's the new year. It's a 4-part small group ministry curriculum to help build our leadership and our relationships in the church. And the first people we're offering it to is our leaders, since that's the purpose of it. So I think it'll be a really good way to make deeper connections and really get some people interested in behind the projects and the work that you're doing to make this church possible.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Christian Hallworth, responsible on the board for congregational life. Since it's New Year's Eve and you guys are kind of frantically writing your intentions for next year, I want to help you all. So I see a good number of new faces. So I want to kind of point out things for the next 2 weeks. For the ones of you who think, oh, I definitely next year I want to do more physical exercise, be more active, first intention. On Monday, January 8th, I think, at 6 p.m., we're going to restart our yoga group out here. Free yoga group. You just come here, join us from 6 till 7 o'clock. We have a really great yoga teacher in Rachel Clark. We've done it before with her. People really enjoyed it. Some people might only be able to participate with chair yoga. You can do it. Some of us might be really ambitious, then follow with Rachel all the way through to some crazy lifting exercises. So that's number one. Number two, when it's about intellectual challenge, you want to hear other people's opinions, you want to learn, and you want to also express your own intellectual thoughts. Come on every second and fourth Sunday of the month at 9:30 here for Forum. Nikki and I are just starting this, so hasn't been here in the last 2 or 3 years. It's a great opportunity. Come on the second Sunday here in January, and then thereafter each second and fourth Sunday at 9:30. Third, if you really want to enjoy life more, be with people, kind of talk, have fun, find a loving community, I have 2 options. First, choir on Sunday mornings. On the first, second, and third Sunday, perfect timing for you to start. I've been in choirs before where doctors sent people, go to a choir. It's the best type of way to enjoy happiness in the morning when you can sing. So do that each Sunday on first, second, and third at 9:15, and we start at 9:30. Woohoo! And fifth Sundays too. And the other one is each second and fourth Wednesday, we have our potluck dinners. The great cooks among you, the people who enjoy eating, some of you might enjoy eating, come here on the second and fourth Wednesday at 6 p.m.
Well, does that seem like enough stuff? No, it is not. Let me tell you. So there's more. On first and third Sundays, I'm glad my spouse is outside because he doesn't want to hear this. Next Sunday after church, I will make 2 pots of chili, a pot of vegan chili and a pot of chili, not vegan, meat included. And we are going to have a discussion around our bodies and positivity and thinking about how we might resolve to be good self-care providers to ourselves without damaging or hurting ourselves in the act. I think yoga was one of those really great things. And, you know, when I walked in and people were doing yoga here, Christian's right, it was a space for all sorts of bodies to do yoga, if that's your jam. I fall over. It's fine, but but there's space for people who fall over, so it was good. It's just a very welcoming environment. But so you heard about the forum, and that's for intellectual. Second and fourth. First and third. First Sunday will be an after-church soup and learn. Second will be a discussion with our Donate the Plate recipient. So we're going to have the food pantry here, and we're going to have a discussion after church with them. It will be a brown bag. I'm not cooking for y'all twice a month. So if you thought a lot was going on for the holidays, a lot's still going on. Chili's good, too. All right. And with that, if you can imagine, our service is over. And our service to each other and the ever-broadening world may begin. But first, if you want to, my beloved spouse has built us a fire outside. So if you want to come out and burn your burned up paper, come on out and do it. I'll see you out there.